Let's look forward. This episode is about stuff that's coming out soon, this year. What are we excited for? What are we hoping to get revealed soon? What do we think is going to flop big time? What do we think is going to be a massive success? I've got Game Informer's tentative release schedule for 2020 at the ready. I'm going to go through a month by month, spotlighting the titles that are on my personal radar, starting with May, which we're currently in. May 2020 is mostly filled with small-time games and Switch ports. The Switch is getting all of Borderlands, all of BioShock, and XCOM 2 on May 29th, so if you're a Nintendo-only gamer for some reason, that should be a gigantic day for you to play some hella good older games. May 29th is also the day that the Xenoblade Remaster comes out, which is a game I won't play because it's like older Final Fantasy games, except everyone's British or something, I don't know. I've never gotten behind the combat of those kinds of games, but the Final Fantasy VII Remake brought me in and I really enjoyed that. The free-to-play Ninjala is coming out the day before on May 28th, and based on its beta server testing, I will bet actual money nobody's going to be able to play that game for at least a full day. Nintendo has horrendously bad online, coupled with the fact that all multiplayer games these days are doomed to not work at launch ever. It's just a rule. It's almost unbelievable at this point. Like, just overestimate how many people want to play your game. I would love for once to see a game that had too many servers or something. The developers are like, sorry guys, we accidentally made the online experience too smooth. Players have been reporting that their connections are so good that it's throwing them off. We're working around the clock on a patch to address this. Please follow this Twitter account to stay informed. But Ninjala doesn't look that fun anyway. The only people who are going to be singing its praises are Nintendo brand ambassadors who are paid to be hella stoked about the dumbest shit on the Switch. Imagine Splatoon, but it's gum instead of ink, and instead of guns, you have giant dildos. That's Ninjala. The main thing coming out May 26th that I'm actually getting for sure is Minecraft Dungeons. It's like Diablo but Minecraft. It's co-op. It's an RPG. If you like Minecraft but not Diablo, you probably won't like it. But if you like Diablo but not Minecraft, you probably still will, if that makes any sense. I like both, so I'm sold. June 2020 is relatively quiet, except for the obvious heavy hitter of The Last of Us Part 2 on the 19th, and I will be getting that, despite any leaks that have surfaced, which I did not look into because I don't want to. I have heard rumblings of people's general disgruntledness with Naughty Dog as a company of late because of some of their developer practices, but at the end of the day, the game's gonna release, and Naughty Dog has a proven track record of excellence when it comes to how their games turn out, so we'll all buy it and play it for ourselves and probably have a good time and see some super hot lesbian action, remember? Just kidding, it's not hot. Their faces are hella dirty and they talk about how they haven't showered. Auga, hubba hubba, somebody bring me the lotion. Actually, I don't use lotion because that's fucking disgusting. June 5th, we'll see the release of Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Switch, which is basically like if Tabletop Simulator didn't let you cheat at all the games you play on there. I like a more structured board game experience. One thing I realized after playing Tabletop Simulator for an hour before requesting a refund is that I don't know the rules of any board or card games at all. Tabletop Simulator just hands you a deck, like, hey, here's a deck of cards, go nuts, and I'm just sitting there like, please tell me what to do. Clubhouse Games presumably has more structure, and so I'm excited to actually learn games rather than stare blankly at boards I don't understand. Plus it's got cards and some sports too. Seems like a solid bundle of shit. I know every SpongeBob fan is going ballistic for Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I'm going to say something a lot of you will take as borderline heretical and say that I've never liked that show. If you think The Office is a show that people quote instead of having a personality, SpongeBob is the cartoon version of that. People are obsessed and it's who they are, dude. It's weird. SpongeBob creates whole-ass identities in human beings and takes over their entire essence for decades. Anyway, you'll be shocked to learn I didn't play the original game, so I ain't getting the new one. I have, however, been seeing gameplay footage of the new Fairy Tail RPG coming out June 26th, based on the anime, which I enjoyed immensely when I watched it. Didn't finish it, and it looks like the game starts off in a story arc I never got to and continues from there, so maybe I'll be out of the loop. But the combat is sort of like a watered-down Persona 5. It's turn-based, you just select spells and use them against enemies who are arranged in a grid-like formation. To be clear, I don't think it looks amazing, or maybe even good, but it looks good enough. Like, especially for an anime game where the bar is already ridiculously low, Fairy Tail looks like it will mildly satisfy people who have the right expectations going in. And if it averages at least a 7 out of 10, I'll probably get it. July 2020. At this point, the already announced offerings are going to be sparse for these months that aren't the holiday season or close to it, but as we get closer, more stuff will get talked about and the summer months won't be as dead as they seem to be right now. July is currently notable for one reason and one reason only, and that's Ghost of Tsushima on the 17th, which is a Game of the Year contender if I ever saw one. An open-world samurai RPG, Sucker Punch has proved with its Infamous series that it knows how to make a sandbox with meaningful upgrade systems, and it's also proved with its Sly Cooper trilogy that it just makes good-ass games in general. In a gaming landscape where samurai are the new zombies, Ghost of Tsushima is still going to stand out amongst its peers and amongst all other games. That's an Albino guarantee. Also in July, you get Death Stranding on PC. Aren't you lucky? Actually, there's another thing I totally forgot was happening. Destroy All Humans is getting remade on July 28th, and I have no idea whether that's a good thing or not. But the original on PS2 was fantastically stupid and weird and good, so let's hope the remake recaptures all of what made that possible, which seems like a tall order, but maybe we'll get a miracle. Nothing's happening in August so far, but September is pretty big already, at least in terms of pedigree. Cyberpunk 2077 comes out on September 17th. Everybody already knows all the buzz surrounding that game. Easy Game of the Year favorite for a lot of people. If you were a betting man, you'd bet on Cyberpunk to sweep the awards season. It's 2020's Witcher 3, and not just because they're made by the same company, although mostly yes. In addition to Cyberpunk, you have the much-hyped Marvel's Avengers coming out before it on September 4th, which is a game that I personally think is gonna flop. Oh, it'll sell well, no question, but it won't be very good if the gameplay demos are anything to go by. Just basic-ass combos, no weight to attacks. It looks like it feels like the Incredible Hulk game on PS2 from 2003, where you go through the whole game like 3 hits, angry. A room full of enemies appear, you attack one, 3 hits, angry. You attack another one, 3 hits, angry. Marvel's Avengers looks like 3 hits angry. That should be a term used to describe dry button mashing combat. Kingdom Hearts 1 was 3 hits angry. The Lord of the Rings games were 3 hits angry. The early 2000s were an era of pressing one button on your controller 10,000 times to win a game. It's not a time I'm looking to re-enter. I really hope Marvel's Avengers takes their whole combat system to the blacksmith and upgrades that shit, because if it doesn't evolve past what we've already seen, it's going to be boring before it even starts. So what do I hope gets announced that hasn't been yet? Well, an easy one to start with, that's almost guaranteed to happen, but that we've so far heard nothing about, is Diamond and Pearl remakes for Pokemon on Switch. Or maybe for simplicity, they'll just say, here, have a Pokemon Platinum remake and skip the duel aspect of things. I think they could do a lot to improve it, because Generation 4 had the most agonizingly slow battle system of all time, and I think Sinnoh is a garbage region with the worst starting Pokedex and the worst Elite Four besides Cynthia, as well as some of the most useless online features and ugliest overworld graphics, as well as the most annoying rival, while adding multiple extra required HMs like Defog and Rock Climb to clutter up your move slots. Oh, and Platinum in particular has that Shadow World bullshit that takes forever to navigate, and Mount Coronet is a dumbass mountain, and getting stuck in deep snow and boggy mud is only charming the first 10 times it happens, and yeah, those games could use some work. Game Freak got their work cut out for them there. I still believe in the legend of the Crash Bash remake, although given what they did to Crash Nitro Fueled with all its monetary Fortnite nonsense, I wonder if it's worth seeing another spin-off game get turned into a sponsored cash cow. But Crash Bash is fucking amazing to this day, especially in the co-op adventure mode, so if you remake that and give it online multiplayer, you can ruin my nostalgia and make my heart turn cold however you like. Add more minigames, make it substantial. You could have a premier party game on your hands that would outshine even the latest Mario Party entry, and that's something the PlayStation console could really use. I mean, release it wherever you want still, but it would specifically be good for Sony. I think the world is ready for a new Mario Kart. Mario Kart 9, let's get that energy out there. Literally do Mario Kart 9 and treat it like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Put all these random-ass characters in there. I want to see Simon and Richter throwing red shells at Snake, who just used a super mushroom to speed past Greninja and Kirby, who are all racing to catch up to the guy in first place named Captain Falcon. You could at least put the OG Smash 64 roster in there. They've earned it. They stood the test of time. Give me Fox, Samus, Kirby, Captain Falcon, Ness, Pikachu, and Jigglypuff, alongside everyone from the Mario series that's already in there. I literally don't know why they haven't done that yet. They've got Link in there, which is a start. They've got Animal Crossing reps. This could easily be done, and the fan service effect would be massive. Mario Kart 9 should be the Smash Ultimate of Mario Kart. They should just call it Mario Kart Ultimate. Everyone is here, and everything is here. I want a new Deus Ex game. I think that series is 100% slept on, and a new Deus Ex game taking advantage of new console hardware could rival Cyberpunk in my estimation. While I think Marvel's Avengers is going to peter out, I do think it could serve as a useful blueprint for a Justice League game, so I want that. I want Justice League Unlimited, the video game, essentially. I want obscure heroes and villains at the forefront. I want to play as Booster Gold. I want to solve mysteries as Question. I want to fight super cool and tough enemies like Harm, and I don't want it to be a shitty MMO. I want to oversee and explore the Watchtower, build relationships and learn more about other heroes, go on side missions, level up and unlock new abilities, and not have super lackluster combat. It has to be made by a big deal studio, like Rocksteady should do it. They did most of the Arkham games. This thing would not work at all unless it was a big budget quadruple A showstopper. Insomniac could probably do it well too with how good Spider-Man was. But that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I'll see you guys next time.